There should be an article. Unilad, OnlyFans star, make it a little bigger, please. How much she made sleeping with 122 college students during spring break. Made a staggering amount. How much did you make?
$250,000.
And this was through your OF?
Yes, like the boys that I sleep with, it's free.
It's free for them. You don't charge them. Okay.
Yeah.
How much? 200?
Yeah, 250,000
okay. All right.
US dollars.
Okay.
You just film it so that other people can see it, essentially? Is that how you were making the money?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. And then you said you slept with 32 18-year-old virgins, and you filmed that too?
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, for the guys in the chat, is it, and maybe the girls can weigh in too, like, is it a W to lose your virginity as a guy to a porn star? Like, is that like a bragging? Do you think it's a bragging thing? Or?
Well, I think, like, personally, when people lose their virginity, it's usually terrible. Like, I gave them a very good experience.
A good sexual, like, experience.
For sure. And not only that, like, it was so relatable. Like, because the reason I started doing that in the first place is, like, when I started watching porn, it wasn't relatable. Like, I was like, when I have sex for the first time, it is not going to be nothing like that. Like, they're professional people that do it all the time. So I was like, there's no better way to make it relatable than literally sleeping with virgins themselves, because everyone performs so differently. Like, some people barely lasted 30 seconds. Some people went for quite a long time.
How do you confirm that they're virgins? You just ask them?
Yeah, like, obviously there's no way of proving it. There's no...
just like Scouts honor.
They're pretty nervous, and I wouldn't say they're very good at knowing what to do and where things go. So,
Well, yeah, for many of them, it was probably their very first time with a prostitute, right? So that's and that is your prescription here, right? Your prescription is, according to you, that men should lose their virginity to prostitutes.
No, I'm not saying they should. They're contacting me. I'm not short of people to make videos with. My inbox is full of people begging.
Yeah, I mean, but do you think that it's virtuous to take a man's virginity? Like, would you recommend that men go to a prostitute so that they can get rid of their V card? Does that sound like it's very virtuous to you?
So after they've slept with me, they're confident, they're walking away, like they'll continue like asking for tips, messaging me. The next person they sleep with, they're going to be able to give that woman a good experience. If they sleep with someone that's also new to sex, they're both probably going to be walking away from that experience no better than what they was, and both shit at it.
What? Oh, you're
I agree with that, but go ahead.
You're just building confidence in these kids.
For sure. Basically, a community worker.
Yeah, I mean, you're really a saint when we get right down to it.
I am
mean,
indeed.
You were, willingly taking their virginity away so that you could build confidence in them, so that they could go out then and face the world, having dicked down a prostitute. You think do you think that they might have regret later? Do you think they might feel like, oh man,
I've not had one person.
Probably have not given up my virginity to an actual prostitute who then filmed it and showed it to other men. Like, do you think that was maybe like kind of low-key,
the thing is, like,
an awful thing to do?
For sure, but my name is very much out there. It's not hidden what I do. They fully know when they sleep with me, it is to get posted.
Yeah, aren't we also talking about consenting adults? Like, they agreed, they consented to sleep with her.
So what if they consented? People can consent to all kinds of horrible things. Doesn't make it a good thing to do it. You can consent to take drugs, for instance. It doesn't mean it's a good thing to take drugs. You can consent to all sorts of horrific,
who are making their own
awful
decisions,
things.
though.
Right?
What's that?
We're talking about adults who are making their own decisions, who are consenting.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about is adults making their own decisions. I just got done giving you my argument against that, which is that who cares? It doesn't matter, because adults make horrible decisions all the time.
Well, consent to me is very important.
Doesn't matter if they consent to it. Doesn't mean it's a good thing just because they consent to it.
But that's what their choice is. Some people like pink hair, some people like blue hair. It's down to a choice. If they want to sleep with me, sleep with a prostitute, if you want to word it that way, that is their choice, and they can withdraw consent at any point, and it's made very clear to them.
I mean, you do agree that it's prostitution, right?
I mean, I don't know why people think it's like a bad word.
About that.
I do OnlyFans. I'm an OnlyFans creator. If we want to call it prostitution, we can call it that. I don't care.
Is it?
I mean, I wouldn't say it is, but I'm not bothered. I'm not fazed by the title. You wouldn't say
that having sex with men for money is prostitution?
I don't really get obsessed with what we call it.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. If a man dipped down this many women, he would be called a predator and likely be in prison for SA. There is nothing to be proud here. This is what mental illness actually looks like. Get help.
That's not true. I mean,
this would be it is.
No,
true.
what do you
So
mean? Like if an adult man, if an adult man is actually sleeping with consenting adult women, how is he going to be considered a predator and a sexual assault?
Relax, lady. Calm down. We're having a nice conversation.
Good, sir.
Relax.
Exactly. So you should let me also speak, right?
You'll be able. Yeah, no, but we were speaking. So not you. You weren't speaking. Me and her were speaking. So
I was actually responding to someone on the chat.
Just
let them have a back and forth. I promise I'll get you in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. If you want to call it prostitution, that's fine. I call it as an OF creator, but I'm not phased of what you want to call it. You saying prostitution is you're trying to insult me with it. I don't think it's a bad word. I don't care if that's what you want to call me. I'm fine with what I do.
Okay, so I just want you to understand the scope of this, that if a man set himself up in a hotel room where he was filming himself sleeping with virgins and getting paid lots and lots of money for it, don't you think society would have a way different outlook on that?
That's not my problem. If society has got an issue with it.
Yeah, I know, but that's not my question. I didn't ask you if it was your problem. I asked if you think society would have a way different outlook on it.
They probably would, yes, but I also received a lot of hate. But there's also not, I was 24 at the time when I was filming the content. Well, there's not a massive age difference. And the biggest point is they're choosing. If the women, 18-year-olds plus, was choosing to sleep with a guy for experience and fun, and that's what they classed as fun, then no, society shouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, so essentially, as we dive into this, you understand that society would have a much larger issues with this. They would not be writing articles about that guy. They would not be celebrating him. They would not say how great it is that he made $250,000, pulling the virginity from 30 women, filming it, and then putting it out there so that he could make a bunch of money. Wouldn't they consider him to basically be both a prostitute, gigolo, and pimp at the same time? Wouldn't society basically be very upset with this guy for doing that?
I think, society was mad at me myself. Like, I went on Sky News, did multiple interviews on me saying it was disgusting, they didn't approve of it. The MP of Australia came forward, did an interview. But like I said, that's not my problem. The main thing is it's legal, they're consenting. If people have an issue with it, I really couldn't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think that if that led to laws which would reform that so that other women couldn't do that, would you be against those laws?
If the law changes, I'll then change my rules. Until then, no.
Yeah, but that's not my question. My question is, would you be against those laws?
No, but we've chosen it to be 18. I don't see why we need to be treating 18 as a child. It would then
so you wouldn't be against the laws if people wanted to reform this so that no other women could ever do that inside of Australia.
What? So women can't sleep with 18-year-olds.
No, that's not the law. If you were to reform the law to say that women couldn't cam up, film themselves having sex with virgin men, and then sell it, distribute it for cash, would you oppose that law?
Yeah, I don't see the issue with that.
Okay, so then it is a moral question then. So within the purview of your morality, you're saying that well, actually, I don't know what you're saying. How is this moral from your standpoint?
You tell me one thing.
Are you just saying it's because they're consenting? That's it?
So what is wrong? If they're consenting, they're enjoying it, they're reaching out to me, why should I not sleep with 18-year-olds?
Because it's non-virtuous. It's terrible for society. Not only are all the consequences of it bad, but what you're doing is you're giving a promotion which adds to the deconstruction of the backbone of the American society, which is the nuclear family. It's bad. In every conceivable metric that I can think of, it's bad. It promotes out of wedlock sex, which leads to more degenerate outcomes on society. It leads to higher amounts of STDs inside of the general public. It leads to all sorts of horrific outcomes. I can't even tell you how many.
That's really
that would be my moral argument against it. Was there anything else? Any other questions you had?
No, you can just listen back and answer them later.
Okay.
Good talk. This is good. All right, I got some more notes here. Sticking here with Bonnie. Bonnie, you said that, or do you need a little cool off period?
No,
You're good to go? You're good to go? All right, cool. You said that people assume if you do OnlyFans, you don't want to settle down in the future or date.
For sure.
Do you want to elaborate a bit on that?
I think when people know you do OnlyFans, I think they just assume you have no intentions to settling down and that you don't want to have that family life in the future, basically.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you do want? Would you like to have like a husband, kids in the future?
In the future, yes.
Yeah. Do you think that it's going to, given some of the conduct, could it be harder to do some of that?
Yeah, 100%. But like the biggest thing, I used to work in recruitment. I used to work really long hours, sort of near enough like 8 till 8 some days. Monday to Friday, I was given 20 days annual leave. And I thought that was going to be the rest of my life. I always thought, like when I was with my ex, it was always, imagine when we get time off together. Imagine when we go on that one holiday a year. Now that when I do meet someone, we can get into investments together. I'll have flexibility and freedom.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Holy fuck, what is going on today? Holy fuck. Excuse me, guys. Okay, you said that you were dumped the day before you went to spring break because you were planning on sleeping with the college boys?
Yeah.
What's the story there?
Well, just before I went to spring break, I was dating someone sort of January, February time, fully aware of like my intentions of what spring break was going to be. We sort of spent, like I said, a few months together, and then day before he called it. So yeah.
That's it?
Well, obviously the reason he called it is because he knew my intentions was to sleep with college boys.
And wait, was this the guy that you were dating for 9 years?
No. So
different guy?
Yes. So
okay.
Obviously with my ex, split with him, and then I was dating someone January, February.
I see. Okay. Going to baby.
Hey, hang on. I just have one last thing to add on this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So I'm just wondering, since you said in the future you would like to have a family and children, can I ask you, do you think that the fact that you have newspaper articles written about you doing this and all of this film out there for you, that one day little Betty Sue, who comes up to you, who's your child, says, well, gee, Mom, I really don't like this, and my brother over there keeps getting beat up at school, and they keep calling his mom a prostitute, and he really can't say anything about it because, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you think that that's going to be a good life for him?
I think so. Before, when I had children, they would have had to go in childcare full time. I would not have been able to give them my time. Whereas now, when I have children, I'm going to be that financially stable that I'll be able to give them. I'll be able to pick them up from school, drop them off. I'll be able to give them time, beautiful memories, and be able to really treasure that time with them when they're young. I won't even be working by the time I have children. And then
I get it, but you're going to send them to school, right?
Of course.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're sending them to school, that's where they're going to get.
So if I have children in say 5-10 years time, by the time they're sort of old enough to be like aware of what it is, that's another 10 years from that. By then there'll be someone else trending, and yes, my news will sort of, I probably guess, will come up. But by then, the life they've had, I'll be able to educate them on the reason they've had such a beautiful life and upbringing is because this is what I did as a job in the past.
Because you slept with strangers and then broadcasted on the internet, you don't think that the outcome when they go to public school and they're getting bullied and beat up and they can't actually defend it, they can't actually defend you, right? Like little Johnny's not going to be able to actually defend what Mom did. He's going to actually have to be like, okay, you're right, guys. I mean, she fucked 100 dudes in a weekend. Yeah, she did that, right? How do you think life's going to be for him on the football team? How's life going to be for Johnny on the football team when his buddies start ribbing him and asking for Mom's number because one of them has $100 in the sock, right?
Oh, that's fine.
That's what Johnny's life's going to be, isn't it?
Wait, say that one more time.
That's fine, I'll fuck their dads. But by then, I'm not going to be in the industry. I'm not going to be filming. I would have been out the industry for sort of 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I know you won't be in the industry anymore. But that has nothing to do with what'll happen to them, right? Even if you're not in the industry, this is the gilded age of the internet. Somebody gets mad at little Johnny and just does a Google search on Johnny's mom and then finds all of these articles, all of this, perhaps goes over to him with a cell phone and says, dude, look at your mom getting gangbanged, you sick bastard, right? Like, that's going to happen to little Johnny, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the angles were good, so at least I'll look good. But,
is that what you're going to tell him? Are you going to tell him, oh, hey, the angles were good when I was getting
Michael,
dog
to a
pile
shock
5
to you,
deep?
my name's not actually Bonnie Blue. So if they search my name, my real name, which is what they'll know, nothing is going to come up.
Do you think that they're not going to be able to figure this out? Like, do you think that that kids are dumb in the internet age, or they're not going to be able to?
I'll give you this time on the show to find out my real name, and then we'll see how long
probably
that kid's
shouldn't
have.
have.
Yeah,
probably
don't
shouldn't
do
have
that.
challenged.
Don't do that. That's a really bad idea. Nobody's trying to dox you, and I don't want anything bad to happen as an outcome of that. But what I'm saying to you is that it does seem like you're setting your kids up, if you have them in the future, for massive failure, right?
Not really, not at all.
Not at all, because
No.
you can give them stuff.
I can give them companies, investments. I can set them up for life.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have all that money in the next 10 years?
I've already got 4 properties in the UK. I continue to buy another 5 this year. So, yes, I'm not stupid.
That's what happens to lottery winners, too, though. Lottery winners will get a windfall of hundreds of millions of dollars. And, interestingly enough, within the first 5 years, most of them go broke. Within the first 10, almost all of them go broke.
The fact I've already invested money, and I've got a financial advisor, I've got an accountant, and my plans
they have
only
all
look
that
better.
too, yep.
Oh, do they? A lottery winner instantly has a financial advisor and accountant the same day? No.
No. Yeah.
My
I don't
plan
even
has been
understand
planned
what that
out.
means. Me saying that people who have lottery windfalls have those things, and they still go broke the same way. Most people who cannot continue to generate wealth are not able to, especially if they only do it off of a single skill. They're not able to cycle the wealth back to work for them.
All your
That in and of
questions
itself is a
are,
massive
what if
skill.
in the future I'm broke? What if this? I am not. And if I am in the future, I'll then answer the question. But until then, your questions and opinion is irrelevant.
Yeah, but that's not really the question. The question
But
isn't
it
what
is.
happens
You're saying,
if you're
what if I'm broke? What if I
No,
don't
the
have
question
the money?
isn't what happens if you're
Can I
broke.
chime in?
The
Yes,
question that
please
I'm
do.
alluding to, is, what do you tell little Johnny if you can't give him the material lifestyle and he has to live with the fact that you were a prostitute? That's
But
what
I
the
will
question
give
is.
them that. So your still questions are saying, what if I can't? I'm telling you I can.
Okay.